Hi everyone, we're going to solve this quadratic inequality by the algebraic method. So these are the two problems we're going to do. Now the first step is we want to write the inequality with 0 on one side. So let's subtract 27x from both sides. So you get 5x squared minus 27x plus 10, and then you're going to have greater than or equal to 0. And then we're going to factor this. Let's see what we get when we factor. And that's going to be x. Let's put 5x minus 2, and then we'll have x plus 5. Or x minus 5, sorry. Double check that. That's correct. When you look at it, that is correct. So now what I want to do is solve for x here. So we get x equals 5 and x equals, when you put this to 0, just let it equal 0. Add the 2, divide by 5. So x equals 2/5. All right. Now I'm going to do a number line and put these in order from least to greatest. So 2/5 and 5. And we want to see what's going on between negative infinity to 2/5, 2/5 to 5, and 5 to infinity. To see which intervals, because these are your x-intercepts, to see which intervals are positive, because we want positive or equal to 0. So for 2/5, this one I'm just going to plug in 0. So if I plug in 0 in here, this first quantity, I'm going to get negative. If I plug in 0 in here, I also get negative. So negative times a negative is a positive. Now let's plug in 1. I'll plug in 1 in for this one. So I plug in 1. I'm going to get positive here, but negative here. Positive times a negative is negative. And for the last interval, let's go ahead and just plug in 6. So that's going to be positive, and a positive gives you positive. We want positive, so the intervals we want are these two. This one's positive, and this one's positive. And you can imagine looking at the graph. So the way we're going to write this is that we want x, where it's positive, is x such that x is greater than 5. Again, let me scoot this over. X such that x for this one is greater than 5, or, because it's split up here, we want from 2/5 less, so x is less than 2/5. Now it can equal 0 on this one, so we're going to go ahead and add the equals here. And this would be your final answer. Now the next one, let's go ahead and do this one the same way. It's already set up with 0 on one side of the equation. So now we can just factor this. So we're going to get x plus 3 times 9x plus 4 is less than or equal to 0. So we want negative. When you solve for this, you're going to get x equals negative 3, x equals negative 4/9. Just set both of these equal to 0 and solve for x. Let's do a number line. So put this the smaller number first. That's negative 3. Then we had negative 4/9. We're going to check intervals from negative infinity to negative 3, negative 3 to negative 4/9, and then negative 4/9 to infinity. All right, So let's, for this one, we'll read this left to right, plug in 0. If I plug in 0, I'm going to get positive times a positive. So this is going to be positive. For this one, let's plug in negative 2. If I plug in negative 2, I'm going to get positive for the first quantity. And the second one, negative 2, that's going to be negative 18 plus 4. That's going to be negative. A negative times a positive is a negative. And for this one, let's just plug in 1. I'm going to get positive and a positive. Gives you positive. So we want negative. So in this case, we want our interval to be x such that x is this one. This is your negative. X is in between negative 3 and negative 4/9. It does have an equal sign, so go ahead and put equals here as well, because it can equal 0. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.